So here we are again. So what we've got here, these two sisters, stop that. These two sisters, how are they related?
0.5.
Right. So in terms of indirect fitness units, what is that worth?
1.
Okay. Now, we've got three other offspring of another sibling. Let's see.
So it's 0.375, right?
Well, 2 times 0.5 is wrong.
Now, three offspring of another sibling.
Wouldn't it be 0.5 times 1/2 times 3? So basically 1/2 times 2/3, which is 0.375.
Yeah. Well, it's actually going to be okay. So let's write this out right here.
Yes, please. You just write on the board.
Yeah, can you write on the board?
What?
Can you write on the board, please?
Here?
Old
Yeah,
school.
it's easier to read on the board.
Anybody allergic to chalk?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone's allergic to chalk.
Okay. So first of all, the cost to him is 3 surviving offspring, right? He doesn't get to have those because he's dead. So 3 surviving offspring is worth how much?
What, of a sister? Of
It's
another
3
sibling?
times-
It would be 0.375.
It's 3 times 0.5, so
Right.
that's
1.5.
The offspring of another sibling.
Okay.
But the relatedness to them, wouldn't it be a cousin?
What?
Wouldn't each
No,
of
no,
them-
no, I'm just saying in terms of the cost to him. Only the cost to him, the offspring he's not producing because he's
Oh,
dead.
it would be 1.5.
Right.
Oh, okay, that makes
Okay.
sense.
0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
for each offspring of his?
0.5, 0.5, plus 5, 0.5. Okay. So, in other words, 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5.
Of
Okay.
his offspring that he cannot have.
Right,
Correct.
Okay, that's his.
That's the
offspring,
cost.
'cause he's dead. Okay.
yeah, because he's dead. Okay, now, the benefit, first of all, we got actually 2 benefits here. Okay, so we've got his 2 sisters, so we'll take that one first. Sisters are related to brothers by 0.5. So here we have 0.5, and then B. Oh, actually, this is going to be okay plus. Oh, here. Okay. Okay, and then we also have basically an uncle. So he saves the lives of 3 offspring of another sibling, of another one of his siblings. So he's basically,
An uncle.
so he's an uncle. And that's 0.25. If it was actually, let's say your children and their cousins, that would be 1/8. But since you're an uncle, it's only 0.25. Okay? So,
0.75.
okay, so we'll say nieces and nephews. Okay, and they've got 0 R equals 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.25.
Okay.
Okay, which equals 0.75. So essentially what we have in terms of indirect fitness units
1.75.
is, yeah, okay. Indirect equals 1.75. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We've got 1.75 B is greater than
1.5.
1.5. Okay. Let me do it over here. Okay. So B.
And the meerkat's doing this in his head, right?
What?
The meerkat's doing it in his head.
Yeah, absolutely. He's figuring out it's worth it.
Yeah.
But damn, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, so we have 1.75 B minus 1.5 greater than 0. Oh, I want to solve for B, don't.
Yeah,
don't-
divide.
So it's just 1.5 divided by 1.75, right?
Yeah.
B equals 0.86.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay, so it's 1.5 divided by 1.75 equals B, right? So you have to get, in terms of the number of offspring, you have to, or you have to, I guess, do, what is it, 0.86?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, B has to be greater than.
yeah, B has to be greater than,
And
0.86.
inclusive fitness is for his whole species.
what?
Inclusive fitness is for his own species, or what is inclusive fitness?
No, just his own,
Oh,
okay? In other words, he's got he's got direct fitness that he's losing, 1.5,
indirect, which is,
and then indirect he's gaining,
and then what's inclusive?
what? And then inclusive is both.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what inclusive fitness is.
Go ahead.
You have to get more than 0.86. In other words, let's say if you got one offspring, or let's say one sister or brother, saving them, you'd be fine. So the question is, though, what was the cost to the male in units of inclusive fitness for his alarm call? Okay,
1.5.
right,
Why?
It's the
Okay.
cost.
the cost.
I have a question about the cost.
Uh-huh.
How do you come up with 3.5s?
He didn't need to do that.
Oh, let's see, let's see, it says here, but by giving an alarm call, the male exposed, for predators, he's killed. As a result, he does not produce 3 surviving offspring.
Each of his offspring
Oh,
are
it's
like
a
5.
given, okay.
Yeah, okay, so in terms of,
It says it in the question.
Yeah, he said it on the question, that's what I.
It says on the last sentence, he does not produce 3 surviving offspring.
for this,
I
it's
always
this.
test like that too. Like, I don't
That's
remember
0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5.
You can also multiply times the number.
What?
It could also be 0.5 times 3.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't do that. Okay, I can only do addition and subtraction.
So what does the numbers mean again? Is there like a scale of 1 to 0?
Okay, so yeah, so this is, we're going to go through this. In fact, this goes through every aspect of all these equations, right? So the next one says, what is the benefit to the male in units of inclusive fitness?
So it'd be the sister and then the niece and nephew one, right? So 1.75.
1.75.
So it would be the combination of those
Right.
two, right?
So here we go. 0.75 is for nieces and nephews, and 0.5 plus 0.5. So let's just write that out. Okay. And then so the 0.5 and the 0.5 are his sisters. And then the 0.75 is his nieces and nephews. And so, here we go.
I thought that was indirect fitness. I thought.
That's right.
The question's asking for.
Well,
inclusive
I know that they actually should say, not inclusive fitness, they should say, I would say indirect fitness.
If it was on the test or something?
Yeah,
Okay,
For
okay.
one B.
yeah. Okay, oops. Oh, okay. Okay, so what's the benefit to the male from his altruism in terms of indirect fitness? It's the same thing as,
It's the same question.
yeah, it's basically the same thing. I don't know why they did that.
But if you were to ask number 1B on the test, it would actually be
Indirect.
0.86.
Yeah,
Oh.
Okay.
well, no, okay, so, okay, in terms of, okay, so on the test, I would probably ask, how many, how much, let's see, we solve for B equals 0.86, right?
Mm.
Okay. That means if we had that, that would be break even. So essentially, as long as you ended up raising an additional one individual, either your two offspring, two sibs, whatever it is,
As long as it's greater.
it's greater than 0.086.
Okay.
Okay? That's all. So do you understand, or do you want me to go through that some more?
I understand.
Okay. Okay, good.
So far.
So, what it's gonna be is, it's gonna be a short answer though. Okay? And all I'm gonna really do is ask you to solve for B.
And B is called what?
That's a benefit to the altruist,
Okay.
I mean, to his relatives, okay? Which in fact is a benefit to him through indirect fitness.
Okay.
So B in this case is 0.86,
Yeah.
but in the process you want us to mention all the following as well.
Well, no, you get it to actually compute 0.86, you'll need, obviously, what's the relationship in terms of relative, and then what's the cost, and what's the benefit,
Okay.
and you're solving for B.
Is B ever gonna be less than the number?
What do you mean less than what number?
Well, right here, B is greater than 0.86, 86, is that ever gonna be less than what it should be?
No, so it'll either be equal to, in this case, it's actually equal to 0.86, but we're looking at greater, so it'll be greater than, anything greater than that is a benefit. Okay,
So in this case, it would be adaptive then, for the male to do the.
Yeah. exactly. Yeah,
And
it's,
maladaptive means not adaptive.
means he'd be losing out.
Okay.
So let's say he only saved his two sisters, but not his nieces and nephews.
So that would be 1.5 to 1.
Yeah, he'd be in trouble.
Okay. So
Okay.
he'd be losing 1.5
Yeah,
while gaining 1.
right, exactly. So, but he would be minus, B would be minus 0.5, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
So-
even though he doesn't benefit, the whole population, I guess, benefits.
well, he benefits in the sense that he shares alleles that are identical by this descent. It might as well be his alleles are just walking around another body,
Gotcha.
okay? So in terms of the rest of the population, doesn't matter. He's only really concerned in terms of relatives and by how much.
What's the difference between an adaptionist and the adaptive?
Oh, that's just
But it's just to confuse me?
BS.
Okay. And then C is also BS, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So it's either between A and D.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's definitely adaptive. Otherwise, if we was losing out in terms of fitness points, then it's maladaptive.
Okay.
And he would shut up and not do anything and let him get eaten.
When we're solving for problems, are we always solving for B, or is there gonna be a?
It's always going to be for B.
So
Not
we're
for C
never
at all?
solving for C.
No, you're gonna have to figure out what C is, but it'll be like in the it'll be embedded in the question, right?
Can we give us that family chart?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Alright,
Okay.
thank you.
The one thing that it
I
didn't.
don't pay attention to families.
Because he saved enough people making this law.
Oh, what am I doing?
The
Okay, now let's do this again.
Okay, so all this logic is to see how. Should I have you show the variance the knowledge being
And then mallards habits are prominent during the peak time. Should get rid of that too.
maybe you can say in other studies.
Toros
If the eating during the day, this is habit continues in the night, computer
It's basically, but it's
Don't make me forget.
That's why I'm kind of like.
It's so cool. I'm gonna love it.
you can ask.
What time is our final?
Color,
Try like. Yeah.
Okay, I think I got it now. So, this is where we've got the basic equation. R is a relatedness. B is a benefit to the relatives. In other words, it's your indirect fitness, which is kind of prorated by how related you are. And then C is a cost to the altruist in terms of direct fitness. In the above example, we have a meerkat who saves 2 sisters and 3 nieces or nephews. That's the benefit. Remember, sisters are worth half. Since there's 2 of them, then we have 1 indirect fitness unit. Nieces and nephews are related by 0.25 to their uncles or aunts. And since there's 3 of those, we have 0.75 fitness units. So the total benefit, in other words, in terms of indirect fitness, is 1.75. The cost in terms of direct fitness, though, is that he's not going to raise 3 offspring. Offspring are related by 0.5, it's 1/2. And since there's 3 of them, the cost is actually 1.5 direct fitness units. Question 1A above asks, what are the costs to the male in terms of fitness units? They say inclusive fitness units, but it's actually his direct fitness. So that's 1.5. That's answer B. And then question 1B, it asks, what are the benefits of helping raise 2 sisters or saving 2 sisters and 3 nieces and nephews? And so the inclusive fitness, which is actually indirect fitness, is equal to 1.75. So the equation now looks like this. Solving for the equation r times b is greater than c. If we substitute 1.75 for r, that's how much the altruist is related to his 2 sisters and 3 nieces or nephews. And we substitute 1.5 for c, we get 1.75b is greater than 1.5. We then solve for b, which must be greater than 1.5 divided by 1.75 equals 0.857. So the individual, the altruist, must protect some combination of sisters or brothers and nieces or nephews that is greater than 0.857 fitness units, inclusive fitness units. For the preceding problem, I've also, since you need this, aunts and uncles are related to nieces and nephew by 1/4 or 0.25.
There's in that same thing, there was, you know those questions, those student questions, there's another diagram. They didn't have any questions.
Oh yeah, right, we'll do that right now. Let's see.
So if you.
Okay, so in this one, I'm actually missing uncle
You could already tell.
and nieces and nephews.
But you're not gonna give us a common operator, right?
No, forget about that.
Like it's
Well, wouldn't that be 1?
No, 0.75.
It's 0.75. So sisters get more fitness units by helping their sisters, because they're related by 0.75, than by having their own offspring. So they don't have to go through childbirth and all that, but they get extra. And they get all these sisters that they love.
So aren't sisters more related to each other than brothers?
No,
The 2 X chromosomes?
no, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
Yeah. No, same.
Okay.
Yep.
Can we do another problem?
Okay.
Oh, no, not about this.
Oh.
About something else that's
Yeah.
tricky.
There was another thing.
Oh yeah. So let me do this. Okay. So, is there any scenario in which spiteful behavior? Now, what does spite do to both sides?
So
Negative, right? Where spiteful behavior enhances the spider's inclusive fitness. So which one of these would do that?
See?
Yeah.
see,
So, in other words, so here's his non-relative, and he takes a big stick and right over the head. And it turns out he gets thrown in jail, right? So he can't really breed in jail. It's difficult. But it turns out if he hadn't done that, his relative would have died, right? So in this case, spite is actually adaptive.
So when it says relative, it's talking about relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So non-relative, relative. What?
Is this a question on the test?
No, probably not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Good question.
Okay, now, let's see. Oh, let's go to the,
the study guide.
yeah.